Good afternoon, Akashic Academy. My name is Yves Leblanc, and I am the host of the Awakening Warrior Show. And today, you're in luck. We have a special guest, Emily Harrison, the founder director of the Akashic Academy. And I'll be letting her tell you a bit more about herself in a second. But first, I want to talk to you about what we're focusing on the show today. So, childhood is great, adulthood is more or less, but there's that in-between stage where we don't quite know what we're doing, and men especially now are kind of a bit lost without traditional rituals where we're like, you're a man now, we don't know. And Emily is has a prime seat onto kind of watching the process unfold with her kids, kind of like going through that process. So if you feel like you have leftover junk from your merging into manhood, or if you're a parent of emerging men, this show is definitely for you. And you want to stay tuned till the end, because we will have a really cool channeling between Emily and I, both of us. We don't really know what's going to come out, but it's always for the highest best good of everyone. It's to really help you support people and clear your leftover junk yourself. So without further ado, Emily, please tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us about the Akashic Academy a bit more, why you founded it, and tell us about your boys. What's happening?
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to go in order. I'm going to give you the abridged version of me. I'm going to tell you guys about the Academy, and then I'm going to let you in on a little bit about what's going on in my family. So my name is Emily Harrison, and if this is the first time that you're connecting with me or Eve here or the Akashic Academy Facebook page, I just really want to welcome you. My goal and my partner's goal, Coach Nick Pereira, inside this community is to create space for light workers who are stepping more profoundly into their purpose here. And by creating the space for shows on our network, like this show right here, we're doing just that. We're also providing the community for support for our light workers. Light workers are so important on the planet right now. And if you're wondering what a light worker is, or if you are one, first of all, yes, you are one if you're watching this, whether you recognize it as that being what you were doing or not, just by being drawn into this space, that's designed to show you how the energy is working at play in your life, how what you're magnetizing or what you're experiencing in your physical world is a reflection of your own consciousness, of your own growth. So if you're finding yourself in this space, that's a reflection that you are growing and that you are stepping into your own gifts and skills and abilities as you learn about your multidimensional self. And that's really what I'm all about. I grew up small town Missouri. I hightailed it to Hollywood as soon as I could. I quit college when I was 19, moved to Hollywood, pursued Hollywood for 20 years, had a lot of fun, a lot of success, a lot of traveling the world, and a lot of transformation, a lot of opportunity to really grow in an interesting way. I found that acting for me really required me to learn to use my body and to show up in a way that I could channel energy through my body. You're doing that with a character, right? When a character is taking on its own life through you, you're kind of stepping out of the way. I realized that this was training me for a lot of what I do now. And Eve has promised you guys a little channeling later on. So you'll get a sense of what's going on inside the Akashic Academy. So to share a bit more about the Akashic Academy, in 2015, I had experienced really the most profound getting honest with myself that I had in my adult life. And I wasn't happy. Pursuing this big, grandiose dream of Hollywood wasn't fulfilling me. I was giving away so much of my own personal power. And I wasn't necessarily being all of myself. I was conforming myself to whatever role it was that I was fitting into. And it wasn't lining up to really a fulfilling life for me. And so some things had to shift and change. And I had grown up in Southern Baptism, like immersed all up in that church, right? And that had given me a profound foundation and cornerstone for loving spirituality. But like many people who have been ingrained in that doctrine for a long time, a lot of the power dynamics and things that go on with structured and organized religion didn't really work for me, and it left me wanting more. And when I was in Hollywood and getting to this point where I was searching for something, man, being on the West Coast, being in LA, there are a lot of things open to me that weren't necessarily open to me or easy for me to find in the Midwest. So I began to really get excited, get turned on. Like, I wanted to absorb as much information about metaphysics, about the law of attraction, about understanding the dynamics that are at play that we can't see with our eyes. And so it became one of those obsessions for me. And I began meditating every day, listening to energy speakers. And gradually my own psychic skills began to come online in a way that was undeniable. You know, first of all, we start having those little flashes where it's like, you know, your friend's going to call, or you think somebody need a text from him. Mine had progressed full on to the point where I was practicing energy healing, just random things that I was playing with doing with my friend, and a very clear communication with his father who had passed started happening. And when you become the channel for the deceased person, and their loved one is right here able to validate any information that comes through, it can become a pretty profound experience, especially if you didn't grow up watching Long Island Medium. You're like, holy shit, this is real.
It's real.
Crazy. So I was lucky enough to experience that in my life, that moment where it became undeniable. And so for me, the Akashic Records were the direction that I wanted to pursue, because I recognized that there are so many different applications and so many different ways the Akashic Records would support not only my healing and growth, but what I wanted to create and how I wanted to show up for others. This is the realm of consciousness where all information is stored from a neutral perspective, which makes it one of the most powerful tools on the planet for human beings who are seeking deeper wisdom, guidance, clarity in their life, who are looking to understand their gifts and skills, how to use them, how to take everything to the next level, because we never stop growing, really. So I became a certified Akashic Record practitioner with 2 advanced levels of certification, one for clearing past life and ancestral energy, as well as one to create our own healing modalities through the Akashic Records. And what inspires me so much about this is that it is teachable. It is a skill that you can learn. Okay? It's so long as one believes that this is true, or that it might even be possible, right? And you're willing to open up and experience it, I can show up in that space and teach you and hold a space for you while you learn to access the highest levels of wisdom, guidance, and clarity possible in your life. So, of course, with this amazing information, the Akashic Academy must be born. I'm so excited and passionate about sharing this information, that as my own process of developing this space has continued to grow, I'm really happy to point now to the Akashic Academy and say, this is the space where it doesn't matter if you're beginning or if you're a seasoned late worker. We are coming together with the purpose of supporting each other, expanding these platforms, and creating a space for those who want to show up and be a part of the new earth to figure out how to do that. This new earth, this idea of new earth, what is that? That is the 5th dimension. That is the transition that we're making. So everything in your life that no longer resonates to joy for you will be falling away. Just what it is. Sorry to let you know. Everything that does not resonate to joy or higher will be falling away during this transition. And so many of us have issues that are tangled up in things that are not joyful, that are dysfunctional. We're tied up in our careers that we don't really love, but we're doing them anyway because we're still getting paid for them. Guess what, guys? That shit's about to crumble down. I'm sorry. If you don't love your life, it's going to crumble down. And that's the transition that we're making right now, because we're rebuilding in alignment to these higher frequencies. And it means something for us different depending on if you're single and you're young and you're starting out this process, or if you're a mom like me. I'm a mom of 3 kids, and so this is playing out in my own life. But yet I also have to take a step back and watch and grow as it's playing out in my children's life too. And I have a tendency as a mom to want to jump in and start controlling all of those pieces. Right. You know, as my kids, the old for them is falling away and they're creating the new as well. It's happening all over the place. I'm learning a lot about that. And like you said, I have a front row seat right now as my 14-year-old is almost 15. He's my oldest. Is beginning to make life decisions that perhaps are not the life decisions I would make. Let me say it like that. So let me just get more specific. I don't want to be cryptic on you guys, but my husband is the development director for an amazing private school in Lake Tahoe, California. And these kids travel the globe. I mean the globe, like international travel.
Mm-hmm.
They go on, they spend more time outside of the classroom than they do inside of the classroom. And because of my husband's position, the school offered all three of my children free tuition to the school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we moved here in January, all three kids dove in and we finished the school year here. At the end of the school year, my oldest, Jack, has decided that he doesn't want to continue next year. He wants to go to public high school and play baseball, which the kid's a damn good baseball player. My husband played some professional baseball, and I shared with you guys, like, I hightailed it out of the Midwest, heading to Hollywood to pursue acting. So when you look at his energetic field, the DNA, he's got the DNA combination of people who are like, screw that, I'm going for the big leagues, right? Not everybody.
GTFO.
Yeah, what'd you call it?
GTFO.
What's that?
Just get the F out. I'm out of here. Like I'm going somewhere else. Like
Yes. So I want to really, show up and encourage him in that space, but it's really difficult for me to let go because this school is in my own, again, this is only my building up of it, such an incredible opportunity for him. So it's been interesting to kind of be more hands-off. I love that you talked about, though, that transitioning into a man for men in the world today, because we don't send you guys out into the woods anymore to go slay the bear, and you come back and you're like, I did it, I conquered, I can be a man. But there are these other aspects of our lives that are playing out that are very similar. They are us walking through the hero's journey in a different way, and I believe that this is part of that for him. So I'm practicing what I preach and giving him the space to make those decisions. How about you? Like, tell us a little bit about how is this meaningful in your life? Did you ever have one of those moments where you went out to slay the bear? Are you still looking for that moment? What's your as a man, because you have that perspective that I don't have? Share with me what your take on all this is.
Well, I think I tried. I remember like last year I had this moment where like I literally decided to go in the woods and like leave a bunch of stuff behind, and like I dipped myself in a really cold river and stayed under there for like as long as I could. Like I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a man now. But there's definitely a sense that like for me growing up, I was like, right, am I a man yet? Do I know? Like and like they don't give you a card anymore, right? Like before it's like almost like you got out of high school, you got a job, like you're officially a man, like go buy a house, like you're good, right? You look at other rituals where like you're right, like go hunt the bear, go kill the whatever, and like you come back, you're a man, and like there wasn't that. And there was a lot of confusion with young men, especially because like you see the emergence of the hashtag adulting, right? People don't even know they're an adult yet. Like they don't feel like an adult because there's never been like that clear division. Yeah. One thing I did want to check back with you though, and as you were talking, I was kind of taking some mental notes, and I really want to see how maybe what's this challenging within you. So I did pull some cards before I get to that. I did pull some cards before the show started, and they're really interesting because they described it to a T. Essentially, what they're looking for, young men are looking for basically the hunter of honor. They're trying to find honor. So you say killing a bear, but we're trying to find honor. Right. And we're trying to find our own strength. So right now, obviously, you're living with a challenge. If somebody else, has can relate to, kids maybe not doing the best decisions, throw it out there in the comments. Tell us what's going on. So Emily, like, what's this challenging within you? Like, and maybe does that resonate with what your son's doing? Like, looking for honor, looking for strength.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how are you being challenged? Witnessing this. What's the biggest challenge on your end? And through that, we can see maybe I can kind of give you some insight into my world, and we can tell our viewers how they can best support those guys who might not be doing what we think are the best decisions.
Right. Well, the first thing that I want to say is, even though I'm categorizing it as not the best decision, the truth is I do not know what the best decision for the child is. And that's one area where you get challenged as a mom, because damn well better believe I know what's right for my kids, right? Truth bomb, we don't. We think that we do based on what we can see and what we can perceive as their parents. We think that we do. But people, we can only perceive of the energy. You can perceive 0.003% of it. That's 0.003%. So to think that you know what's best based on that amount of information is only your ego coming to let you know that you might have an issue that you need to work out, right? So that's one area where I've noticed that I'm getting triggered. I tend to go hardcore Dr. Phil on myself. Like, I don't even cut myself any slack but I just want what's best. No, I go straight for my own jugular and say, okay, Emily, what's seriously going on in you? Yeah. Why is this affecting you so much? And kind of the back and forth dialogue was, well, I'm disappointed and I'm scared because in my mind, this was providing an education that I didn't, or experiences in life that I didn't feel equipped to show up and give him. Okay. Financially, I don't feel like I can fly my children all over the world. From an energetic standpoint, I've always struggled with showing up and being present with my kids for long, extended periods of time, like all freaking day. You moms who stay home with your kids know what I'm talking about. Like I literally, the reason why my husband and I talked about going for that second baby was because it's so intense playing with the kid all day long. Like we needed someone to play with him.
Like and cats, you get two.
Yes. That's been a struggle for me because I've always been so passionate about my career, whether it's my acting career or whether it's creating what it is that I'm creating here. And so for me, this school was, hey, easy money. There you go. Someone else can take that responsibility of making sure that your kids have really cool experiences learning, because as parents, we all want our kids to be excited by that process. But for some of us who aren't natural teachers, and I do consider myself a natural teacher, but like I said, I was challenged being in that space with small children for extended periods of time. So it's an easy way out. I was so excited to feel like this school was going to show up and be the awesome parent that I wasn't in a lot of ways. And so once I was able to see that, I'm like, oh, well, no wonder you really want him to go there. And you're not freeing him up because this is about you, because this is about what's easy for you. And that's another big area where once I allowed myself to see that that's how I was perceiving the situation, it was much easier to make the adjustments to back off and say, I don't know what's best for him.
It's interesting that you said, like, to make it easier, like, either for yourself or for your kids, because I remember, like, I purposely made my life harder.
Sometimes we do that because we get more attention for that.
More attention? I just felt that it was really, learning the hard way was going to earn me more man points. And I think there's a lot of that in, like, that, the more difficult something is when you achieve it, the more you've earned it. And energetically, we find out that that's just really not the truth, right? When you, like, it's not the truth because we don't necessarily need to work hard, but we do need to put in the work that we need to. And there's kind of the distinction between the two. I want to share something with you. I kind of discovered, and this is talking with a client, and it's something that, I see so many women light healers, and the men are starting to come up, but what I found, terms like manifesting, for example, they just didn't resonate with me. But then I had a client saying that her partner was like, he manifests like crazy, but he didn't understand the term manifesting. And here's the way I phrased it. So, like, if you were to tell him that, like, basically you decided what you wanted, you decided you were going to effing get it, and you did whatever it needed to until you got it, would he agree to that? She's like, oh yeah, totally, 100%. I think there's a disconnect between, like, how men experience stuff and how we communicate stuff and what's out there in the energy world right now. Do you have any experience, like, is Jack, for example, is he open to energy, or is he totally just like, Mom, I know you do that thing and people give you money, I don't know why, but because even, like, male logic brain or the masculine side, it's hard for us to grasp these things that we can't see. So how is that playing out, with what you do and like how he's emerging into, I guess, manhood? What's his connection there?
I love this question. My kids are so awesome, and especially Jack. He's really, really open to all of this.
Hmm.
He is really accepting of using the energy. He actually smashed his thumb. So after he made this decision to leave the private school and to play baseball during his summer league, um, smashed his thumb. I thought the child's thumb was shattered. Like,
Hmm.
okay, you made this big decision and now you're not going to play for the next several months. Jack's had injuries on this thumb before that have required reconstructive surgery. Like, we've been through the whole thing. And when I saw that thumb injured and the look of that thumb right after the injury, I thought, we're done. I thought,
Hmm.
honestly, my response at the baseball field, I went a little berserk. Not like making a scene, but inside I was melting down a little bit. I was just like, what? It gets all swirling right there. And this older gentleman walked up to me and he said, "Oh, is this thumb okay?" And I said, "You know what? I don't think it is. I think it's toast." And so we talked a little bit more. And I didn't know this gentleman. So I said, "My name's Emily. Thanks for chatting with me. What's your name?" And he told me his
Hmm.
name. And I said, "Who are you here with?" And he goes, "Oh, my grandson is Colton." Now, Colton is the kid on the team who the week before walked into a swinging bat, smashed his face, shattered the whole side of his skull,
Hmm.
scared the shit out of the team, dropped to the ground and went into seizures. The ambulance had to come in and take him out. This child's face, he was unrecognizable. And here I was having this ridiculous meltdown about my kid's thumb to Colton's grandfather, who just had his face smashed in. And as soon as he told me who he was, I said, "Oh my gosh, you just put my entire world into perspective." And I just,
Hmm.
as humbly as I could, said, "You know what? Thank you.
Yeah.
You just totally straightened me out. Please forget everything that just came out of my mouth complaining about my son." And so he and I have been friends since then, and he'll come up and pat me on the back when I see him at the games. But so to bring this full circle, Jack is very inspired by the understanding his own power and
Hmm.
really embracing his own power. He understands how his breath can control his energy, can
Yeah.
help him tap into his greatness. He healed his thumb, healed it. Within a matter of a week, it was a normal thumb again and working properly.
Hmm.
So I'm really, really proud of all of my kids, of how open they are and how much they share with their friends too. I know that I've taught them before how to use their arms as like energy antennas and bringing in scalar energy, which is just a fancy way to say star energy, right? Starlight energy. And you just
Hmm.
draw it through one hand, taking one hand and putting it up to the sky and then shooting it out the other hand. And I have walked onto campus before and seen my kids shooting energy out their hands like that at the other children when they fall down, and that makes me really, really proud. So they are definitely being brought up in an environment that's keeping them much more open.
No, it's funny you mentioned that. I was invited to a junior high school career fair a few weeks ago, and
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
okay, like they know I do energy, right? And I show up. I'm like, all right, what am I doing here? It's like flight college, community college, university, me.
That's awesome. I love it.
And I went like every time there was a group of kids come up, like boys, I'd be the strongest boy, like the tallest. I'm like, do you know your body has a built-in lie detector? They're like, what? Like, yeah, if you lie, your body gets weaker, and you can do that. It's like muscle testing, where you didn't say
Nice.
their own name, and they're like, resist your hand, and they say something else, like it's false, their hand goes down, and like, you get these boys go like, what?
That's awesome. Yeah, I bet you triggered some uh, awesome curiosity with that
Yeah,
one. That was
it was
really, really
fun.
fun. I love it.
But I love what you were saying. How you know, back to come everything full circle is how when you're looking at a thumb, you're like, oh my god, but then you look at compared to the kid who got his face smashed in, it's all just like a drop in a bucket of water, or like in the ocean.
Spit in the
And
river.
I think that's the biggest thing is that we can do. When emerging is like my reality is like I wanted to fuck up, I want to learn on my own, and like I knew sometimes that I was probably making the wrong choice, but it's my choice to make.
Yeah.
And really, that's the biggest thing that we can do is, in my opinion, is just allow people to do their own thing. The other card
Oh
I
my
pulled was
God.
the Dancer of Life.
That's an excellent one. Sorry, I just had a big realization that I'll share after you talk about that card.
Yeah, well, basically, it's learning to dance, right? And like, we can't really learn to dance unless we try. We can watch videos, we can have our parents tell us what to do, and you know, like you were saying, in learning to connect with our own energy, to know all these things, it's just a learning process, and it's to not be like, oh, I was tough on myself, and men especially, we don't get things right away. We get tough on ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the process. And I know we're going to get to our little healing soon here, and just really kind of clear up whatever junk is left from that. It's a tough time for guys. And then, for parents, how to support them, but really, it's really how to get in that energy of like supporting yourself, of caring, of compassion. I think it's just compassion and remembering that it's not a big deal. It's just a drop in an ocean completely. So
Mm-hmm.
you were saying you got something.
I just realized the absolute parallel nature of my experience and Jack's experience. I quit college. I moved out here to Los Angeles, which was a defining turning point in my life. And if my
Mm-hmm.
parents would have stopped me from doing that, all of this that exists now would not exist, or it would not exist in the same way. Sometimes, your life takes another path and then you converge back at those points where the
Yeah.
inevitable happens. So perhaps this would have been inevitable anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
I realized that you gotta let them go, don't you, mom and dad? I'm sure that they had their own things that came up when I decided, yeah, I'm out. I'm quitting college. By the way, bye. Headed to Hollywood. I'm gonna be an actress. See you later, everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely seeing that play out full circle in my own experience now.
Yeah, I think it's that like that male essence, the energy is just like it's kind of just got to forge its own path.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like it doesn't matter. I don't even care where I'm going. I know I'm going somewhere. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go there on my own. And I think it's really a process of honoring that and allowing that to come through because I know knowing who you are, what you've done, that you've really played well to that energy.
Mm-hmm. And I do tend to have a lot of masculine energy just naturally coming out of my own energy field. I
Hmm.
recognize that right now on the planet, it is time to balance masculine and feminine energy. And I also look at this as giving me the opportunity to instill in Jack the confidence in being a man and instilling in his process of becoming a man without
Hmm.
having to be that over controlling mother who is, you know, not allowing that to unfold. In this way, I am showing up and participating in the rebalancing of the divine masculine and divine feminine by allowing him to have his own experience of becoming a man and not running over him and running over his desires, even though he's only 14.
I had a really interesting thing happen with my girlfriend a few weeks ago, and it was really simple. It was like, I was like, can I help you bring stuff in? And she's like, no, I got it. And I was like, you know what? Like, no, like, I know you got it. I know you're strong. I know it's not that heavy, but can you allow me the honor of helping you?
Aww.
And she was like, yeah, totally. And, it was really, from the male perspective, is we want to feel useful. We want to feel like we have honor. And it goes back to like this honor and strength.
Awesome.
And whatever way that we can find that, the best thing that the divine feminine can do is just allow that to happen. Because, yeah, like you women are strong. You have all these qualities within you, and you have like the divine masculine within you. Like sometimes you gotta let the guy kind of do their thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
flex their muscles a little bit, and we're happy doing that. And I think that's what he's finding his own way to flex his own muscle, playing
Yeah.
baseball and like trying to get his experiences with girls and doing
Mm-hmm.
his own
Seriously.
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was sure I was gonna have like a big energy healing. I don't have anything to start yet. What do you got?
Would you like me to bring something through for you guys out there? Let's bring through some healing energy just to give space for the divine masculine to grow and to blossom and to bloom. You know, and I want to also invite you guys to recognize that the rebalancing of energies don't always look pretty. It can be really messy sometimes. Again, it can look like the breaking down of the old so that you can recreate the new. It can look like chaos before order, right? So by doing this and creating this space, I want you to recognize that there are going to be some old things that are breaking down and shifting, and expect that. Get ready for that. Create space for that and allow it to play out with ease and grace in your life. It doesn't have to be totally chaotic and destructive, but there is that element of breaking down the old and creating the new. So if you're willing and brave enough to walk through this space, let's give that divine masculine some room to untangle a little bit, some room to maybe make some mistakes that aren't really mistakes, that are always learning opportunities, and give that energy some room to blossom. Imagine the lotus flower that just needs some space to blossom. It's been kind of clenched and tightened up. Okay, so we're going to focus on the solar plexus, which is about 2 inches above your belly button, and that is the chakra, which is a Sanskrit word that means energy wheel. This is an energy vortex, where your personal power really comes in. And that's a lot of that divine masculine energy too. So let's focus on that energy. Even if you're a woman, we all go through the process of stepping into our own. And we call that sometimes, quote, becoming a man. But it's really that aspect of stepping into our own and really knowing how to manage and use our own energy. So I want you to see that sun energy, that bright yellow emanating in 360 degrees. And take a nice deep breath in. And just imagine creating space for the unfolding there, for that lotus to unfold, exhaling. And with the exhale, releasing anything, any old paradigms, any old fears, any old place where you feel plugged into belief systems that aren't serving you. Maybe you feel a strong need to have to show up and prove yourself. Just releasing that with a breath, deep breath in. And just creating that space and the personal power. Exhaling. Good job. One more nice deep breath. And seeing that sun radiating in 360 degrees and exhaling. And now I want you to imagine a relationship in your life where you would like to step into more personal power. And I want you to just project that with your inner vision. Allow that projection of that relationship, whatever relationship, and it can even be a good relationship. Any place where you want to step more into your power and be more balanced and more connected in that relationship. And I want you to bring that energy from the solar plexus, that energy that we just intensified, that we just balanced. And I want you to, with your intention, pulling that energy up that column of light, that yellow energy, and moving out through your third eye. I want you to inject that energy into that relationship where you want to show up more in your power. Good job. And with this next exhale, I want you to let that image go, let that image evaporate. And next, I want to know, where in your career are you ready to step more into your personal power? Are you ready to let the divine masculine be more balanced and re-enter the equation in terms of who you are and how you're showing up in the world and being of service? And I want you to imagine that in your inner vision. See that projected up on the screen. The area where you want to show up more in your career, standing in that personal power. Good, nice deep breath in. Pulling that solar plexus energy up, pull it all the way up to the third eye, and then with the exhale, send it through the third eye, injecting that personal power energy into that career scenario. where you want to stand more in your power. And with this exhale, allowing that image to be dissolved. And now I want to know, where do you want to show up more in your own spiritual growth? Do you want deeper awareness of your own patterns of thought and behavior? Do you want more discipline in staying on track with your meditation practices, with your practices, your yoga practices, your Tai Chi, your Qigong, your hiking, your healthy eating? Do you need more motivation and more help staying on track in that area? Where do you need to step up and step into your personal power for your own growth? And I want you to allow yourself to project that through that third eye, through your inner vision. And then pulling that energy from the solar plexus up, deep breath in. Pulling that solar plexus energy up, pulling it all the way up to the third eye, and as you exhale, exhaling that energy, infusing it into that aspect of you where you are seeking spiritual growth and expansion, creating that space to step into your power. Just notice how the energy is moving through your body right now. I notice I can feel a lot of palpable waves of energy pulsing through my body. If you feel that too, just ground that energy for yourself. I'm grounding that energy for the group right now. Good job. And with one more breath, the exhale, we're going to release the meditation, release the healing. Allow yourself just to come back front and center. Nice.
All right. Oh, that
How
was
you guys
awesome.
feeling? Yeah? Good.
All right, cool. So I'm going to speed up a bit. We're going a bit long. And I am a theta healing practitioner. That was my main first modality. I've moved on to doing what I call cosmic overflow, my own. But I want to get some downloads, some energetic attunements, if you will, to kind of help with those. So if you want to close your eyes for a moment, we're just going to do those. And you just need to say yes to receive them. Whether you believe in God, source, higher energy, your higher, like whatever your you go with is whatever you identify with is great. I use creator, and you can just say yes to receive these attunements, and we're just going to kind of help amp that up, what Emily just did, because that was fantastic. So if you'd like to know what it looks like and feels like to drive forward through your masculine, want to have it overshadow your feminine, you can say yes to receive that now. If you'd like to know what your divine masculine looks like when fully activated, how to step into that masculine, that it's safe, that it's possible, that it's your birthright, that no harm will happen to anyone if you step into that divine masculine, you can say yes to receive that knowing now. To know what it is to enter a divine partnership with the divine feminine through your masculine, how to embody that, what that looks like and feels like for you, what your life will look like going forward, that it's safe, that it's possible, and how to step into that divine partnership now. You can say yes to receive that knowing and knowledge now. And to release any past trauma, frozen energies, junk, kind of just stuck energy around emerging into your masculine, whether through like teen years or whether later in adult life, to let go of that while keeping the lessons that you've learned, show you how to fully embody those lessons while letting go of the trauma. You can say yes to receive that now, and then yes to integrate all those changes, be healed with loving energy and light, and show you who you'll be going forward with all those changes. We'll integrate all those now. You can do a big inhale as you think yes, and we're just going to exhale and just let go of all that junk and integrate everything. So big inhale. Exhale. Awesome. I think we just had a pretty nice 1-2 punch. Let us know what you guys felt. So, Emily, I'll let you tell us about what you have in store inside the Akashic Academy members only section really quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got some food cooking, some chili. And
I do. I got some chili cooking.
Yeah.
So tomorrow inside the Akashic Academy is one of my favorite days, is because it's where I show up and do live channeling for you, and just how I brought through that healing transmission for you guys right here live. Inside the Akashic Academy, I go full into the Akashic Records and bring forward messages from the Galactic Federation of Light, which is not only a message for you, but it's a transmissional vibration, which means as the message is coming through, it has the ability to open and expand and unlock whatever area of wisdom, knowledge, or understanding that you need. So it's a really, really powerful time for all light workers to show up in that space. And in order to get access to that class, along with mindful living that happens every single Monday inside of the Akashic Academy, as well as full and new moon ceremonies, which we have another full moon ceremony coming up this week, you can get on the akashicacademy.com and find out more about joining us for a mere $11.11 a month, you guys. You get you get access to over 10 live workshops every single month, new workshops, as well as access to the replays for $11.11 a month. And the growth that is happening within this space will knock your socks off. So I want to invite you guys, check out the akashicacademy.com. Money back guarantee. It's easy to join us.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me. It was always a pleasure to chat with you. It was fun.
I agree. Fun. I have fun with you.
I do want to tell people to check out too. There's some older videos of Awakening the Warrior. This was a very well needed balanced energy to what I usually bring. Usually it's a bit more of like raw solar plexus has been huge coming up with activating that and pushing through. So if you're really looking to push through scenarios in your life, make sure you tune in next week and check out some of the old episodes. And yeah, if you want to connect with me as well, feel free to add me to Facebook. I also really love doing card readings. I do them all the time on my personal Facebook, so people are free to connect with me on that. And yeah, namaste and blessed rest of your day to everyone. Thank you, Emily.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.